he is unflattering. No, he doesn't get it. After coming to a conclusion, Jack Nicholson knows. It remains decided after he makes a decision. The number of actors who glance at their watches to check the time and fail to see it is staggering. Nicholson has been rewriting the laws of film leadership with each part she has played for more than 50 years, dismantling them with each look. Something more uncommon, though, lies behind the lunacy and the genius. Recognizing excellence, acting like an actor who gets it, matching the beat, unflinching presence. He has no acting chops. He defies the laws of physics. A Few Decent Men, Chinatown, A Cuckoo's Nest, and A Dazzling Sight. Notable performances are what make up Jack Nicholson's legacy. However, a co-star who had an agreement with him is central to all of them. Talent isn't the only thing he values. Others who influenced him are also remembered. To leave. As soon as someone gains Jack's trust, the genuine kind, the act fades away. Now we can get closer to the truth with what's left. Sandy Bressler, my friend and fellow soldier. Hi, Bress. I adore you. Although he has collaborated with everyone, only a select handful have achieved meaningful traction beyond the surface level. The people who gave him their all and then managed to get even more in return. If you ask Jack Nicholson, these are the 6 actors he loves the most. Out of the din, beyond the action, and wondering why they were never succeeded. Robert De Niro on top. When it comes to intimidating roles, Robert De Niro is one of the best. Jack Nicholson considers Robert De Niro to be more than just a superb actor. Like a mirror, he is a fellow craftsman and a low-key volcano. At one point, Nicholson defined him as an actor who conveys more meaning by his silence than his monologues. They never worked together frequently. They were superfluous. At every turn, Nicholson saw De Niro transform into a different character as he ascended the streets, played by a taxi driver and a roaring bull. Still, it's undeniably De Niro every time. Can you explain that? I completely misunderstood your statement. Deserve no significance. Joey, you were important. You don't act with De Niro, Nicholson punched in a joke. You cling to the moment, praying it won't engulf you. Underneath that humor, though, is admiration. Sincere awe. Reason being that Jack isn't one to lavish praise lightly, but he does have admiration for De Niro, obsession, quiet, and discipline. His life is a model. Indirectly, The Departing was their sole significant screen time. Frank Costello was an offer that De Niro declined. Jack gave one of his most erratic and unpredictable performances after Nicholson came in. Nevertheless, inquire with others. De Niro's presence was palpable at all times. According to Nicholson, when De Niro is on set, everyone else seems to go silent, as if gravity had stepped in. The camera doesn't follow De Niro. Similar to Jack, he allows it to come to him. De Niro embodies an innate talent for acting that, in Nicholson's view, cannot be taught. It's on the inside. We've lived in it. It could be harmful. That, too, is unforgettable. A close second is Al Pacino. Robert De Niro is like a storm brewing, and Al Pacino is like a fire that is already blazing. Jack Nicholson adores Pacino because he is never subtle, according to Nicholson. As 2 giants who ascended to fame simultaneously in the 1970s, witnessing each other reimagine what acting could be. Their connection is created not in co-starring roles, but in legacy. According to what Jack mentioned, Al bursts into characters rather than playing them. Due to Pacino's refusal to take the easy way out, Nicholson respected and continues to respect that. In every part he played, from The Godfather to Dog Day Afternoon, Pacino let his emotions and ours shine through. His lack of remorse was evident. The person attempting to reassure me is not someone I want to speak to. Find someone responsible for this. The responsibility is on me. Please don't try to reassure me by talking to some sucky pig. The act of phoning is not necessary. Where is he going? The way he approached each scenario as if it were a matter of life and death, his unpredictable nature, his guts, and his ability to transform a whisper into a war cry were all qualities that Jack appreciated. You see every thought happen on it, like lightning under skin, Nicholson said of Al during a panel in the early 2000s. Although they were never cast as brothers, their level of intensity and desire made it seem like it. According to Jack, he is like a coiled wire that contains poetry. Hello, Fredo. Not every hit by Pacino is spot on. The point is that, even though his performances hurt, Nicholson says that's what makes them memorable. In Jack's opinion, pretty acting is boring. Rough, unpredictable, and alive is what he enjoys. He achieved precisely that with Al Pacino. A few characters step into the shot. After breaking it, Dustin Hoffman constructs something more authentic to its original form. Not only was Hoffman an equal to Jack Nicholson, but he was also proof of concept. No need to be dashing, showy, or polished to have superb acting. It may be alive and shaky, wounded and vulnerable, and full of sharp edges. According to what Jack said once, Dustin isn't like other people. As if he were broke, he plays it straight. They develop their professions simultaneously. Hoffman as Jack in Easy Rider and The Graduate. Two unusual cases that are grabbing attention, without arrogance, but rather speaking the truth, which earned them mutual respect. However, I do not believe that is the matter at hand, assuming my interpretation is accurate. Nicholson looked up to Hoffman for his guts, his ability to turn unease into cinematic moments, and the fact that he gave you his everything, flaws, and all. Nicholson made a joke about Dustin getting ready to say hello at a round table in the late 1980s, 200 times before its childhood sound was achieved. Underneath the jokes, though, was pure wonder. Hoffman didn't just perform parts, he ripped them apart, lived inside them, and then presented the audience with a visceral result. To Jack, that was holy ground. I got on the bed, turned on the TV, and flipped through the channels a few times. Even though they never shared the screen, they both respected each other. Different flames, same heat, two actors from the same fire. Nicholson considered Dustin Hoffman to be more than just a superb actor. To be great, one need not appear heroic. He was one of the pioneers who demonstrated this. I needed it to be genuine. Speaking first is a leadership quality for some performers. Paul Newman took the lead quiet. Jack Nicholson saw more than a Hollywood celebrity in Newman. He inspired a sense of self-control in those around him. Even though his job involved explosives, Newman was a steady, focused, and unflappably cool slow burn. According to what Jack said, Paul remained a movie star for half a century because he didn't behave like one. They were from opposite generations, but they shared a common era, worked with the same directors, and exemplified contrasting charismas. Although they were very different, Jack and Newman had a profound mutual regard. Quietly, without ego, and without fuss, Newman toiled, and Nicholson admired that. It was never a goal he pursued. It suddenly occurred to him, and whenever it occurred, he was spot on. Jack reflected on his experience of seeing The Hustler in theaters in the 1990s, and how he felt like he was doing nothing but everything in an interview he gave at the time. Jack was self-sufficient. He required candor, and that was abundantly provided by Newman. What happened off-screen was same. Nicholson thought it was admirable that Newman refused to let Hollywood consume him. He remained married while racing cars and donating millions. Jack famously quipped that when the cameras weren't rolling, you wanted to be Newman. Grace under pressure was a unique quality that Paul Newman embodied for Nicholson. Effortless power. He was more than merely well-liked. He exemplified the kind of conduct that great actors and men should always strive for. Fifth on the list is Marlon Brando. Actor Marlon Brando revolutionized the way it was defined. Brando was more than a hero to Jack Nicholson. Redefining the meaning of screen presence, he was like a storm system. Endangered, fragile, stunning, and fractured. Beyond that, they were more than just colleagues. They lived just yards apart on Mulholland Drive, so they were neighbors indeed. They shared fences and occasionally feuded, yet there was profound reverence between them. Marlon caused the rest of us to reconsider our actions, as Jack once put it. He revolutionized every role he worked on, especially after a session of intense exercise like ballin'. It wasn't until 1976's The Missouri Breaks that they appeared together on screen. There was mayhem during the shoot. Brando would sometimes disappear into the desert while improvising madly, switching lines and blocking. My life's work has never been more unexpected, according to Nicholson. Even so, he didn't bat an eye because, as Jack put it, it was Brando unbridled and unapologetic, worth every darn headache. You can't expect it to happen, Andrew. It wasn't simply Brando's skill that Nicholson praised. The way he exuded authority without actually exerting it was remarkable. Even a single word from him may cause the whole earth to move. If you liked Brando, it didn't matter to him. Its veracity was his sole concern. For Nicholson, that was the pinnacle. It was Brando, according to Jack, who revealed everything. Approach, silence, defiance, and being human. Brando was more than a performer to Nicholson. The starting point was him. Sixth place goes to Gene Hackman. The limelight never escaped him, even though he never sought it out. Gene Hackman was the actor who, according to Jack Nicholson, never made an issue of himself, but, by simply being there, made everything seem more genuine. They were never adversaries and kept their distance from one another. In private, though, Nicholson frequently placed Hackman in a class by himself. He had previously stated that Gene didn't want to steal the scene. Rather, he assumed full control as soon as he entered. We should start by being really kind, shall we? Hey there, I'm Norm. Secondly, you have served your coaching purpose. Hackman was not the most popular dinner guest in Hollywood. He was not interested in gaining fame. Interviews with him were not charming. Performing was his specialty. Truly human. Battered, but great. It was acknowledged by Nicholson. To the core. Hackman wasn't trying to win anyone over. He was just trying to be himself. They ran into each other on the awards circuit, but just at tables and not in front of the cameras very often. In contrast, Nicholson was unwavering in the 1990s when asked to name an actor he could cast in any part. Hackman, Gene. Blue-collar genius was his description of him. No glitz, just the facts. That was important, Nicholson. Art, sweat, and instinct are all that's needed. No tricks or gimmicks. Hackman brought up the past responsibilities of the position. Before publicists, press tours, and endorsement deals. Only the labor. This is the reality. Even in an illusion-based town, Jack Nicholson never lost sight of the few performers who would not put on a show. He considered Gene Hackman to be among the last of his sort. Nicholson avoids discussing favorites. Truth, unfiltered, unexpected, and memorable is what he talks about. It can be a single scene or a lifetime. But in every instance, he received more than just acting from these 6 performers. He found a reason to trust in them. He discovered order amidst their mayhem. He discovered peril in their quiet. Not only did they stand by his side, they also held their own. Polish isn't important to him. What matters is being present. And those who bestowed it upon him, they will never forget. Even though they don't get a lot of credit in his interviews, you can feel their presence in every scene and frame. Which one do you like the most among the bunch? Please inform us in the space provided. I hope you enjoy the show and will subscribe to Behind the Frame for more stories, legends, and videos like this.